morning. We are patching the inside of that seam that we glued up the other day, and I've already got two of these done. These have already been these patches have already been glued in place and clamped, and I'm going to get ready to do a third one. I'm only doing one at a time here on these last two because I need a longer clamp. I've only got one longer clamp. One of these days I'm going to buy another one. But anyway, what we're going to do, I've already prepared each of these areas where the patches are going down by clearing the surface. I used a really sharp chisel and scraped it slightly, and then after that I used a little bit of sandpaper to just bring it down to kind of fresh wood before I put the glue on. And I'm going to be putting glue on both surfaces, both the patch and the surface of the inside of the violin. So here we go. I think I'm going to do this one first. I got some fresh hot glue here, same batch that I cooked up the other day. Well, I didn't cook it, but you get the idea. Same batch that I prepared the other day. Putting glue on the inside of both, putting it where it belongs. Now, wish me luck with this because I don't like doing this at all. The violin is the surface of the violin is being protected by the double layer of towel, and then the clamp is actually coming down on top of the patch and underneath the table edge. So as that's coming down, it's not putting any pressure on the surface of the violin, the outer surface of the violin. And we have got it just about nailed right there. Let me just tighten it just a little bit more. You don't want to over tighten. The beauty of it is once these are in place, and these are solid, these first two that I put in earlier, once these are in, it really stabilizes this seam. This seam, because it has so little surface area along the entire length of the seam, and the surface area there's between 4 and 5 inches, well, more like 5 inches from the back of the violin to the bottom of the F hole. But as you saw that in the last video, boy, I mean, there's just very, very, very thin top, and so that's not a whole lot of surface area for the glue to be holding. But when you put the patches in, these are fine-grained spruce that I cut last night. Anyway, when you put the patches in, all of a sudden now you've got reinforcing things that stabilizes the whole seam so that you're not dealing with just having holding power only wherever the surface of the top is coming against each other with that very, very thin edge. Anyway, okay, we're all done with this. I'm going to go ahead and come back and do this last one later, and I think we're good to go. The patches are all secure. They're all glued in place, clamped, all set there. These three here, I've already gone ahead and cut them down. I use a very, very sharp chisel. I get these razor sharp, literally, and then I come back after the patches are all glued in place and I begin to bring them down. You can see how much of a difference. I left this one here for a reason so that you can see the profile of it, how much, where those start out. So anyway, right now I'm going to take some off from this and begin to carve it down. The beauty of it, of doing a horizontal patch instead of a diagonal patch like the diamonds, is it is so easy to go ahead and with a good sharp chisel you can just trim it down, just little shavings at a time. And it's just a whole lot, for me anyway, it's just a whole lot easier than doing a diamond patch. And, you know, not knocking a diamond patch, guys. I mean, they've got their thing. But I prefer to do this. And I'm taking it right down to where the bottom of the glue joint meets the wood. I'm going to come across the top, take it down some. Then I come in on the end like this. And I'm very, very careful with this because I do not want to go down into into the wood of the actual top of the instrument. I'm not putting any pressure on this wood aside from just stabilizing my hand to get a good clean cut. There you go. That's one side. And I found it's a whole lot easier to do this if you bring it toward you instead of pushing away. You have better control. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing over here that I did there, over on the other side. Okay, that's pretty much done. And all we're going to do now that that's all been brought down about where the others are, you will use some sandpaper and bring these down just a little bit more. I can take a little bit more off this edge here. You don't want to go cutting into the top. Just be very, very careful. There we go. I think that's it for now. We're going to go ahead and get some sandpaper and smooth these down. Make them as low a profile as possible. You want the strength, but you don't want a lot of bulk there. Sound is important, and this is called the sound plate. And anyway, I think we're done for now, and we'll pick this up later when we get ready to do the next step in the whole process. More right here. This is the last one I did. All right, I think we're good. All right, the crack is glued and patched. Here's the tracing. It worked very well. I was just able to slip it underneath here, and I traced both the inside and the outside, and showed the width of the ribs there and where the lining ends as it comes up against the tail block. So that's done. We don't need that. We're going to hang on to that for later on when we get ready to cut a new portion of the tail block. Well, as I suggested in one of my earlier videos, I went ahead and took one of my very sharp chisels and cut the inside of this tail block out. And I've trimmed it down to where it's just about 1/4 of an inch across here. We'll show you this, and I think I already mentioned that's how badly split it is. But the beauty of it is, with it like this, I can go ahead and get some nice fresh hot glue that, and then I'm going to make another tail block, another half of the tail block to go on the inside of it. That will finish out the semicircle, or the it comes around here, and it will give the added strength needed to go ahead and be a good solid tail block. They did something in this violin that is usually done in good violins, and this was pinned. I don't know if you can see that right there. Yeah, there's a pin, and not a metal pin, a wooden pin that is driven down through the top to hold everything in place while they're getting ready to position and glue up the instrument. And there's another one, you can't see it underneath here, but there's another one under here, which means that they did it before this, before the fingerboard went on. And let me see if I can show it to you here. Now you can't see it on the top side, but look at this. There it is. There's where the pin went through into the head block, and down here, that's where the pin went through into the tail block. That's usually the mark of somebody that knows what they're doing. But this violin is a bit of a mystery. There's some things about it that make complete sense, others that don't make any sense. And I'll do a whole segment on this a little bit later. But for right now, we're on this. We're going to go ahead and try to fix up this tail block and do that inside portion that's going to get glued across there. And as I showed you last time, this is split all the way down through. That's going to get glued up. And then also right here, let me just go ahead and do it where it is. This is a nice fine-grained spruce. And this is going to be the cross block, which is going to, this is going to be shaped like this. The upper half of this, I'm going to trace it onto this surface right here, okay? And this will be the back of it that goes against the inside of that. You got it? After this has already been glued and clamped. And once this is all solid with good fresh glue, then this goes on. This piece right here that I'm getting ready to do. By the way, just to let you know, I bought a marvelous tool. Not the one I was looking for, but it's pretty good. This is DeWalt's version of it. This is a back cut saw. Now, it makes cutting something like this really a cinch. As a matter of fact, when I used a slab of this a while ago, and I used this knife as this saw to cut that slab out. So, all right, guys, that's it for tonight. I've got to get things wound up here and get to bed. I'll be back at this first thing in the morning, and we'll show you the progress as we continue working on this 1711 violin. Okay, here's an update. I went ahead and cut out of this nice straight grain spruce, cut that shape, and here it is, and it is all ready to go on. Cut it and shaped it, and there it is. But first, this has to be glued and clamped so that becomes one piece again. So I got to use some of that fresh hot glue of mine and glue and clamp that up to make that one. And then after that, then I'll go ahead and let me see, hang on just a minute. Then that glues on the inside of it. Hang on, I think it's like that one, like that. Okay, that glues on the inside. And once that all becomes one solid block, then I'll go ahead and drill in through that opening, drill all the way through, and then ream it to give it the taper that it needs for the peg to go in. See, a peg doesn't just go straight in. Peg, there it is. Peg has taper to it. And so anyway, getting ready to go. This is one step at a time here, but the inside tail block is ready to be glued on as soon as I get the old tail block glued up and solid again. Well, good morning. We're ready for this repair. We're going to go ahead and glue the old part of the tail block. And I've got this thing set up. I've got a clamp on each side so that when I compress these clamps together, inside and outside, they're gonna pull that seam together. And so what I'm going to do is, got my fresh hot glue going over here. And the other thing I've got going, you may not be able to see, I've got plastic underneath this so that as the tail block is being glued, it's not going to be getting glue down onto the down onto the back of the instrument. This old part is going to get glued first and get completely set up, fully hardened, and only then will we go ahead and put the new inner part of the tail block on and glue through like this. Okay, here's a note of truth to go along with the repair on this old portion of the tail block. Once I got everything on there and I started putting rubber bands on and trying to pull this thing together, I realized that all of it was just torquing it way too much. So I just took it all off, got some fresh hot glue down inside there. I actually did another round of it so that there was plenty of coverage. And then keep in mind here, this block has been in one position as one piece for literally a couple of centuries. And so, and it's used to being in together, in spite of the fact that it cracked under pressure. What I did, I went ahead and I just got everything back together, let it line up perfectly because it's used to it. And then I just held it together for a time. And once I realized that it was not going anywhere, that it was good and solid with how it was sitting, I went ahead and just took my fingers off and left it just like that. And I'll tell you what, it glued up, just as good as if I had clamps on the whole thing. And I realize clamps are the ideal, but in this situation, I just felt like it was wisest to just get out of the way and let it do its thing. Here's the beauty of it. You look at the back of this. Look at the way that the seam comes together right there. That is just perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no. Let's see if we can get on top of it here. There's no visible crack per se. Here's where the old crack was. Like I said, that is all completely. That's glue you're seeing in the seam right there. But anyway. All right, then the beauty is when we get back from this trip. By the way, I should be packing right now. When we get back from this trip, this goes on. And we'll get some nice fresh hot glue in there. And what I was trying to say before is I'm just going to put a block across the back here and then just take a clamp. And I think all I'm going to need is one because of the way that this the dome piece of this is formed. And just put that in place and glue it up solid. And man, that's going to be just as if it was a brand new tail block. And like I said, then we just drill it, put the reamer in there, get the taper on it, and we're good to go. All right, well, I wanted to make that clear that I didn't end up using those clamps. It was just way too much torquing it around and all kinds of garbage like this, and it's best to just let it sit naturally the way it has for a couple hundred years. So. All right, we're off. We're heading for Kennebunk, Maine. My wife's doing a ladies' day over at Biddeford, Maine, and I get a chance to go walk around the harbor for a while while my wife is doing ladies' day. I'm not going to the ladies' day. All right, we'll catch you when we get back. Well, I've been waiting forever for this glue to warm up. Everything is all set. It is good and hot. And so we're going to go ahead and apply it to both surfaces. Let's do the inside of the old tail block first. Very thoroughly covered. Again, I've got the plastic down to protect everything from being glued down to the back because I want to do the back separately. Remember, I've got a crack in that, and that needs to be glued up in a whole separate operation. So. Okay, this is all glued up very nicely on the inside of that. And now we do the inside of the new tail block portion. Nice hot hide glue. All right, we are ready to go. So we suffered a bit of a camera failure there again. But this is all done. Everything is all set. Everything's all glued up, and it's going to wait till we get back from this trip. But good news, the tail block is restored, and it's on from here. So thanks for stopping by Old Fiddles New Life.